Officially, again, hello to everybody. We are 14 people from all over the world, and it's the Underwater Rugby ZoomLabCall, which is part of the Underwater Academy that's starting in November for the first time. And we just thought we'd just go for a Zoom call to start the conversation with those who are interested. And so I'm very grateful, and we are very grateful to have you here. This is Julia Brauneck from Austria. I'm sitting in Switzerland. This is Wolf and Lorena, who are sitting in the southern part of Germany currently, but are from Berlin. And yeah, we're going to move into a quick check-in round. And the idea is, as I said, we have this ball. You can drop the ball. But if you take it, or if you have it, you basically say shortly where you're usually playing, your name, of course, where you're usually playing, and from your just where you are right now and what you experienced in the last trainings or whatever, what is sort of what really sucks at the moment for you in underwater rugby coaching. So your name, where you're playing, and sort of what is on your heart in a bit of a bad way, or not so positive. And yeah, I'll just drop the ball. And whoever starts takes it.
Okay, everybody's too shy, so I'll take the ball. I'm Doug Stettner, playing in Australia. Not really doing coaching, so I'm just more or less here out of interest. You know, try to learn a little bit more about what's going on everywhere else in the world, and kind of you know what we can do to make to grow the sport a little more here, in case there are anything that comes up that helps us do that.
Thank you so much. You're dropping the ball, or you want to pass? You want to drop, or you want to pass?
So I get the chance to drop or pass, do I?
Yeah, you can decide whether you drop the ball or whether you want to pass somebody.
Okay, well, I'll pass it to Wolf then.
Thank you.
All right, got the ball. So I'm Wolf, playing in Berlin. You might know me from the Champions Cup, doing the live stream. And I'm a coach with a license, with an underwater rugby license from the VDST in Germany. And I'm coaching the men in Berlin. We are playing second league. We've been in the first league in Germany, in the North League. And well, what really sucks for me is I'm putting a lot of effort into coaching, a lot of time and hard blood. But every season I feel like I'm starting all over again, because people dropping out, new people coming in, and the structure of the team is changing. And I haven't found, I'm really burned out right now, and I haven't found a way to have a continuity in my coaching and what I teach, because every season for me is starting all over again, and it burns me out. That's from me. Thank you. And I pass the ball to Dimitris.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me now better? Okay, so I'm Dimitris. I play in Athens for the club Thessalis. Me and also one or two other guys from the club are doing the coaching. I don't consider myself as a coach, but I have to do it. And I have to say, first of all, about the question, what sucks, I think people that are receiving the coaching are more appropriate to speak, because I think the coaches are trying to avoid things that they think that suck. But so from my perspective, the difficulty, I think it has also to do with what Wolf said. It has to do with the different levels of the players. So since we don't have enough people, in our club, and I think it's in every club like that. We have to do training for all levels. We cannot separate the different levels of players. And so this is the most difficult part, I think, in order to satisfy everybody. So we must have so every level of play, all players from all levels should be satisfied with the training, and that's the most difficult part, I think. And I just dropped the ball.
Okay, I just found this ball here, and I'm going to use it. My name is Ricardo. Currently, I am playing underwater rugby in Australia, in Brisbane. I am teammate with Douglas. I'm coaching one of the teams here. Basically, the thing that I would like to change is, or the issue that I have with coaching is time in the swimming pool. Here in Australia is pretty expensive. We have just 1 hour every season, every training. Then in 1 hour is not enough time to do what we should do. Then that's the thing that I am claiming. And I would like to pass the ball to my friend Stanley.
And hi. I need to get unmuted.
Yeah. Sorry, I was interfering, but now you're unmuted. So sorry.
Okay. I think one of our biggest problems is with regard to coaching is to manage the expectations of our newer and older players. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So my name is Stanley, and I play in Singapore with the club FAT Underwater FAT UWR, so which is First Asian Team Underwater Rugby. We have, our club is made up of like almost 50% girls and 50% guys. So we have about 70 members, and yeah, so that's a brief introduction of our club. One of our biggest problems with coaching is to be able to coach and manage expectations of the younger players, or the newer players, as well as the more senior players. As you may appreciate, the coaching is different for more senior players because we deal with more advanced UWR stuff than with newer players where we deal with like beginner type stuff. So I think that is one of the bigger problems that we face in Singapore. And with that, I pass the ball to Key. And you might have to mute me again because I'm using mode.
Okay, thanks, Stanley. Can you guys hear me? Just a thumbs up if you can. Okay, good. So my name is Key. Together with Stanley, we are teammates for FAT Underwater Rugby. Been playing underwater rugby for about 9 years. I think I met some of you guys already. So I think in regards to the challenges that we face in Singapore, just like Ricardo, we also have issues with pool booking. And I think with every other clubs in the world, but fortunately in Singapore, we have 3 times training per week, and each training is 2 hours. So that's not too bad. We do have our own fair set of challenges in sense of trying to understand what is, trying to understand what is a senior player or advanced player or experienced player in that sense, because FAT Underwater Rugby is generally a very new club in this world. We are about 3 years old. So we do have players that actually think that they are quite senior in that some sense. So there's quite the irony of it, because the experienced players to us actually are players that are like the rest of you guys, like 15 to 18 years. But then we have to actually, like what Stanley said, manage the expectations of all our players that actually in Singapore, all of us are new players. So that itself is kind of a challenge. There's a bit of irony there. I'll pass the ball on to Joel, who will share with you a little bit more as well on what we experience in Singapore.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Yeah, so I'm Joel. I'm currently the president of the FED UWR in Singapore. So one of the biggest issues I think highlighted by Key and Stan would be the managing of the expectations of the more senior players and the newer players, because we can have a difference of maybe people who've been playing for 2 years to 3 years, and guys who just joined us within a month of playing, of joining the sport. So I think the main problem with that is also come up with a training program that both helps that increases the level of gameplay for both the more senior players as well as the junior players. Like, how do you come up with a training plan that covers both sides as well? How do you bridge the gap between them? Because if you focus on the senior guys, then you end up losing the newer players. Like they can't keep up. And if you focus on the newer players, the senior guys, they get disillusioned, and then they lose their motivation, and then they won't start coming back for training anymore. So like what Key and Stan said, we are generally a new club, so we have about 3 years. So that's pretty much the gap between the new guys and the most senior guys in our club. I'm going to drop the ball so anybody can pick up from there.
I got something to add from Singapore. One thing special about Singapore is that because we are considered the only club apart from Turkey in this part of the world, we don't have much opportunities to compete locally. Unlike like Australia and in Europe, you have regular tournaments, but we don't have. So that is one big challenge for us, because as much as we compete, or we play, we train, the team will only be as good as where we are right now. So we need a lot more competition. So we are also trying to brainstorm and to actually improve our competences as we go. Fortunately, we have players coming to support us from Norway as well as Australia. So we also have a lot of being in Singapore. We are in a very advantageous geographical location, which allows international players to come to Singapore. So that actually solved part of the problem. But in order to actually allow us to develop ourselves further, we constantly seek for some competitions that are of a higher level that we can actually try to improve ourselves from there. Yeah.
Thanks, Key. Just a short intervention for me. This is a check-in, and the idea is that we don't get in a discussion at that stage, but I didn't interrupt you. But the idea is that each of us has the ball first before we go into the next step. So the ball is still on the bottom, I guess. And that means I'm picking it up. I'm Jan. I'm playing in underwater rugby in Lucerne since 14 years in Switzerland, central Switzerland. We are one of 3 clubs in Switzerland that actually are playing rugby on a, let's say, more advanced level. And what really sucks from my perspective in underwater rugby coaching in my team at the moment is sort of the not having the enough knowledge to actually make 2 trainings that are complementary to each other. We have Mondays and Wednesdays, and what I see happening, and that really sucks for me, is that we are trying to compete the Monday against the Wednesday training, like who has more participants and so on. So that's not what I and there's a history behind that, because we merged an old team into our team that once was part of our team, but for 15 years they were separate. But anyway, that's detailed story. But I just don't like that kind of, Wednesday training is more liked, or has a better coach or whatever. I would love to have an interconnection of our trainings, and that actually people come 2 times, and that we advance our knowledge in these trainings, and that we have the knowledge. So it's basically, I guess it's also a knowledge issue that sucks. And I wanted to do a training in Germany last year as an underwater rugby coach, and that didn't happen because there were some issues in the southern part of Germany. And so I myself would love to do more, but I just don't know how to get there. Okay, and I drop the ball as well.
Here Gabriel speaking. Hello everyone. I know some of you. I played with some of you, Dimitris, for example, Ricardo. Hi there. And Daniel, hello, Giulia, ciao, Jan. And I'm from Firenze. For those who don't know me, I'm from Firenze, Italy. And I'm actually the manager of the team from Firenze. I just trained the team for 1.5 years. After that, I dropped the ball because it was too much for me, managing and training. What I have to say about what sucks in training and being a coach is, yes, I agree with the problem of different levels, but the main problem we have here in Italy is to find new players. The main topic here is to develop a network that is able to increase the number of teams and find new players in each team. We are a football country, football-driven country, and moreover, there is another problem I would stress, which is it's not easy to find good swimming pools for underwater rugby. As far as I saw abroad, it's not a big problem for others, but here in Italy is becoming a problem because when they try to modify the plants, they lower the level of the water in order to avoid the cost, to reduce the costs. So this is another problem to us. The problem of having more players has two big consequences. We had a couple of team collapses in Milano some years ago. Now there is a team again, but they collapsed in Rome and in Prato, which is close to Firenze. And the other point of not having enough players is the competition among players. You don't have, you are forced to use all the players that you have because you don't have the choice. You don't have you don't have any choices. If you are 12 playing, you cannot say, okay, let's go in 8 because 4 of us are not training. I'm dropping the ball.
Thank you.
Can I take the ball or who pick it up?
Sorry?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it. Take it.
I take the ball. I don't have a ball, so I take the imaginary ball. I wanted to speak from the female perspective problematic as a coach. You have problems already. Lorena. Where I am. I'm Lorena. I play for Berlin Women, and since I think I've been playing rugby since 17 years or so. So you already have problem in the getting players as men. With the women, it's more difficult. For instance, in my case, here in Germany, we have a league. We have 6 or 7 teams, or this season probably even 8. But we don't have all the women in the city or in the club where we have the team. That means for me, I have a team of 24 people that I have to coach. I have 3 of them in Berlin. The rest are all over the country. So I have to coach these women to keep them motivated, try to give them ideas, and then to have them together when we meet for the league and play as a team. And that's even more complicated than anything else. I'm trying to fight with this problem since long now, and it's a problem because we lose always a lot of players from the team because then you cannot have them they don't feel that they belong to the team. You cannot help them to progress. Yeah, well, that's what sucks from the women perspective. And we in Germany have a luxury of having a league, a women league. I mean, I don't think that's in any other country. I believe in Colombia probably. So yeah. So I can pass the ball. Who can take it?
Hi, good morning. This is Daniel from New York. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Excellent. So my name is Daniel Naujoks. I know many people on the call. I play here in New York, Newark for the New Jersey Hammerheads. I used to play in Berlin. And I am, before becoming an underwater rugby player, actually, about 15 years ago, I used to coach on self-defense and judo for 15 years. And I have many training licenses, so I've come with a lot of training background, even though I don't have coaching license in rugby, where in the US we don't have that yet. We are thinking about establishing that. A few things that I want to contribute in terms of things that generally suck. So it's not just specific to our team here. I think actually we try to address some of these issues. I think there are a couple of shortcomings that I've seen in trainings all over the world. Not everywhere, but in several parts. One is that in underwater rugby, in coaching, we don't have coaching. A lot of teams mostly focus on playing. Right? That's a huge, that was in my old club in Berlin, the BUR, was a huge problem. But even when there is focus on tactics, it's limited. It's often only limited to either group tactics or it is about individual technique. But as we all know, underwater rugby is probably the most complex sport that has been invented so far, where we have a lot of individual things such as swimming skills, such as ball passing skills, such as how to score, different scoring techniques. All these individual things that you can train like for each player. And then you have all the group movements, you have how to move as a team, how to move as a couple, coordination between things. So bringing together all these different rotations, defense rotations, offense rotations, transitioning from the defense to offense play and vice versa. I think we need a lot of different exercises for that, and normally we don't do that. Even good coaches have one or two things that they focus on. For example, our coach is very good, Echeverry is very good at having group rotation, especially in the offense, but we focus too little on standard situations. If you see professional football, soccer players, right? They always start with half an hour or an hour of doing passes. And I mean, these guys have done a lot of passes and they know how to do passes. But I think we as in coaching, we think, oh, this is something for a junior player, not for an advanced player. And then we think, and so I think we have to, in coaching, really focus also on standard skills that we know, but we have to get them over and to train them over and over. Another thing that sucks in terms of coaching is that the discipline in most clubs is not a very competitive one, I observe. And that has two ramifications. One is about the fitness, the level of things that they do outside of the water. And we all know that Molde players, for example, are obliged to do a certain number of hours in the pool, outside of the pool, in the gym, going running, doing cardio, etc. But I think most teams, they meet twice or thrice a week in the water, and there's very little focus on what's going on outside. Or if people do that, it's on their individual ambition, but it's not because there is actually a plan. It's we as a team, we have to train, we have to go running, we have to go lifting weights, etc. What we all need. And the second one is that in the water, even there is often a level of that the coach is not often respected sufficiently. Again, I've seen it in different levels in different clubs, but often we have like in martial arts. When I was the trainer in martial arts, what I said was law. When somebody was late 2 minutes, for every minute they did 10 push-ups when they were late. So if you were 5 minutes late, if you were 10 minutes late, you thought twice about coming to training. And of course, and we are very lax about people who come late. And then if the trainer says something, it's just, oh yeah, I'll do it, or I don't do it. It's not that the coach's word is really what counts. So I think we have to establish a little bit, I don't say a military regime, but I think a little bit more discipline in training is important. And the last point I'm going to make, and I have more to share later maybe, is that you have, we talked about differences in the level of players. I think that's easy to address through a differentiated approach. A lot of groups have a differentiated level. There's very few teams or groups in the world that you teach where everybody has the same level. But I think what is an issue is if you have recreational players. If you have some players who want to be very competitive, and some people say, oh, I come here and I like playing, but I'm not really going
to interrupt you a bit, but we were having a check-in, and I just want to make sure that we have everybody heard. Sorry to interrupt you, because we want to have a check-in, and then we want to actually dive deeper.
Okay. So, sorry, I had to feed my son, hence I missed the first 2 minutes. Okay, I'm dropping the ball, and
what really sucks
on me.
What really sucks for you at the moment, from your perspective, in underwater rugby coaching the most, maybe?
Me?
Yeah, what sucks the most for you in underwater rugby coaching? Because you said a lot of great stuff, and we have more.
Okay.
What sucks most?
Most sucks for me that we don't have enough focus on the different parts that we need to focus on individual and group training, and to really come up with a more holistic approach to actually address all these different areas.
Thank you. What are you doing with the ball? You drop it. Who has not had the ball yet? Just check in. France.
I haven't.
Oh, Julia, yeah.
Yeah. So my name's Julia. I'm from Graz, Austria. I am currently playing with STC Graz. Well, I've always played with STC Graz for almost as long as I can remember. Almost 20 years. And I'm the head of the Rugby Commission in Austria. And what currently sucks for me in underwater rugby coaching is that I don't have a national coach, and I find it very hard to find one, because the only country that I know of that actually has something like a training program for underwater rugby coaches is Germany. And it's pretty hard to find a coach if you're looking for someone at a high level. So I think that is what really sucks for me at the moment, because my teams want to coach. I want to coach. I'm part of a team, and yeah, I can't find one. Haven't been managing.
What are you doing with the ball?
I forgot. I just muted myself. I'm passing it to whoever hasn't spoken.
Which is Rolexi or TUC France, I guess.
So Rolexi.
If he's there. Otherwise, we switch to TUC France. And that's a guy, I think, who is driving. So I'm not quite sure whether the microphone pops away.
Yeah, I'm driving, so I can't really speak now. I think I'm Turk. I'm the coach of France, of Bordeaux, and I don't know. I think they get the points of the coaching programs and all that stuff. In our team, we got, I think, 6 players, 1 to play and 1 to fitness, but the other just recreation. So that's the problem of the coaching program. We can't do with all the team, no? So that's the point. I dropped the ball. Who wants the ball?
Cool. I think I take the ball, because I think now everybody had the chance to speak and to get a bit the stuff out of his head or mind or heart or whatever. So I'm taking the ball back. And originally we planned a bit shorter for the check-in, but that's totally fine. I just interrupted here and there, because it shows a great energy that is there around the topic. We were planning to do a tops and flops, sort of a bit of a snapshot session here. And as you remember, the idea of this call is not to cover everything around coaching in detail, and because that is the idea of the Underwater Rugby Academy that we all want you to invite to before the Champions Cup in November. And this call is sort of for us also a way of finding out what is it actually that we should bring into the physical academy. What is it? What would attract most people? Especially for Wolf, Lorena, and Torsten, who are sort of taking the lead on the coaching slot for the Underwater Academy. But I was just thinking now, because we have Torsten who said he would join, and then Tarkan is maybe absorbed with the training camp in Turkey. He said he will also join, and Samuel from Colombia is also not here. So I'm just wondering whether we actually changed the agenda a bit, Julia. And maybe you can sort of, just as a recapture, maybe show us a little bit of what is the essence of the check-in, because I for me myself, I heard a lot of similar sucking issues, put it that way. And these are the interesting issues, at least for the Underwater Rugby Academy, because if we address those, then we are most likely to get as much people as we have. So I hand over to you maybe for a short recap on what you have heard and what you have drawn, just like maybe 5 minutes or so. Would that work?
All right. All
Cool.
right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
So I'm moving this around a bit, and I'll show you larger. What I heard. One thing that I heard from several sides was there's issues with pool time. Either the pools are not deep enough when they're reconstructed, they're expensive, they're hard to get, the time is short. In Asia, there is an issue with the fact that there are not any tournaments that they can participate in, which I think is, from a European perspective, it's a bit unique. But then I think Athens faced the same kind of issue at the beginning when they were starting out. And so is Serbia, because they just started a youth team, and it's very hard to find regular youth tournaments for kids that are like between the ages of 10 and 14 maybe, which they have. There's an issue around not enough knowledge of training theory. There seems to be basically one country that has an actual trainer curriculum. And here there's issues around tactics for teams, tactics for single players, couples, standard situations. And I think that this actually links into a little bit the issue of the different levels of the players that you have in your teams. Because of course, if you don't train these different things with everyone, and not everyone is going to go up at the same time. And I've lost my, here. So I'm going to link these two with an arrow. There was an issue around team continuity and burning out. Because if you change people all the time, then of course you repeat the same things over and over again, which might make sense if we talk about training tactics, but that's a different conversation to have, I think. It can be hard to find a coach. It can also be hard to find more and enough players. And if you don't have enough players, it's hard to build a strong team because there's no competition. If I'm in a team where I can basically do what I want and I'll always be the A player, then of course, why would I go to the gym, right? And composite teams where people come from different parts of the country and they never train together and then they play together in the league, those are hard as well. And it boils down to another issue of team discipline, which again, I think it's linked a little bit to how to get enough players, to also knowledge of training theory and how to motivate a group. Because if you don't have the knowledge, how do you create the discipline? If it's not accepted because people are here to be recreational players, then why do you even bother? So I think it's, yeah, they're all interlinked, as is everything in the world.
Cool, thank you so much. As we have said that wonderful, and I know you will work and to make this extraordinary harvest. Thank you so much for that, Julia. As we said, this is a positive conversation. We started with a very negative checking question. I'm just wondering whether, because we have a lot of experienced trainers and coaches in that call, whether we can have maybe not so much the negative stuff that is around, but if maybe each, I don't know who, Ricardo, maybe Gabriele, you have training experience, coaching experience, Wolf also, Dimitris, whoever feels like there is something extraordinary in terms of tops, like really that is, but just a snippet. Don't just take too much, because we only said we want to limit it to 90 minutes, so I'm a bit time conscious here. But I think this is important for the positivity of that call. If you maybe could just say one, like the most important from your own, maybe from your own experience, what you experience as a coach, what is the most important snapshot or recommendation for other coaches? But as I said, we don't have the time to make this a really lengthy discussion. We can do that in Berlin, so I come to Berlin. This is more of a taster for it, and I might have to jump in if we're going too lengthy, because I watched the clock, time ticking. So whoever, I open up the call now and for a short top sharing of coaching advices, because we have had a lot of stuff, and then I want to move on what you actually expect from the Underwater Rugby Academy. But as I said, because as we are running already a bit into time issues, I would urge you or ask you to keep it rather short. So if anybody, and nobody has to say, if somebody doesn't want to share or has nothing that comes to mind, don't worry. It's not about I have to say something here, but if you feel like, okay, there's really something that I had very good experiences with that I want to share with the group, and that I want to share with the community later on, then this is the moment to share it. And but as I said, we will have to keep it rather short. So whoever feels like, and I will try to sort of see where we go with the process. Does that make sense?
Can I start?
Yeah, so, maybe raise your hand if you feel like I want to say something. So you have the function of raising your hands, so that we don't get, and then I can see how we do with the overall. And you have the waving your hand function in Zoom. Yeah, cool. We'll go.
Okay, I jump in. I make it quick. The most important thing for me in my training with the kids, I'm training, and with the grown-ups, with the men too, give them a briefing before and a deep briefing afterwards. So tell them up front what they have to expect, what you want to do as a coach in this training, what you want to accomplish, and in the end, just collect their impressions and their feelings if you reached your goals and if they did learn something. That was really important for me as a coach, as a start and as a feedback from the team. Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel, you raised your hand.
Very briefly, because several players here and coaches mentioned the problem of having differences in the group level. What we at the Hammerheads do, and that's again mostly due to our coach Jose Echeverry, is that we have always two people who are regularly in charge of everybody who's new. So the problem is, if you have new players who are really the first or second or third time there, they disrupt practice because they can't do anything else, right? So we always have two people in charge of new people. So whenever new people come, these people will go aside with the new people, and the rest of the training can just continue. So there's no disruption. That's an easy way of just sorting out the really beginners from the rest.
Cool. Thank you so much. Ricardo, you were raising your ball. That's also fine. Go ahead. And I unmute you.
Yeah. We're facing here quite similar problem that you guys. Basically, we have three big groups. It's recreational players, beginners, and experienced players. Then what is working here is we are giving importance to all of them. How are we doing this? Here in Brisbane, in Unidad Goals, on Thursdays, we have social games. Then all those players that they just want to have fun, to enjoy a night in the swimming pool, and after having some spaghetti carbonara and some beers, they know that the Thursdays is the night. And every Thursday night we go to the swimming pool, we play a little bit, and after we go to the restaurant, we have a spaghetti carbonara, some beers, and that's it. Also, on Wednesday nights is the beginner's night. Lucky of us, we have two coaches. Then we have a coach just for beginners, and this guy is just focused on them. But also Wednesday night, I am there. Then the experienced player, they can go, and we have like 2 different trainings. And at the end, we merge all the players together, and we play a game more focused on the beginners. And Monday nights is the night for the experienced players. Then if some of the beginners players, they want to join us, they know, hey guys, maybe it's going to be hard night for you, but you are welcome. That's the structure that we have here, and it's working well. Okay, as any other one, we have some troubles, but I think that's working well here in Brisbane. Thank you, guys.
Wonderful, thank you, Ricardo, and I mute you again. That's a nice. That's really interesting for me as well. Anybody else wants to share? Like Dimitris, waving your hand. Unmute you.
I did it already. Okay, I just want to say about 2 problems that I had. One was from Singapore, I think, about competition. We still have the same problem. We try to manage this because there are not we are the only team in Greece too, and Europe is not so near. It is not that far like Singapore. And what we try to do is that we separated our club in 2 teams, and so every 6 months, let's say, we build 2 separate teams into the club, and we are training 3 times a week. So the last 30 minutes of one of the trainings, we are playing for this championship. And so every week, half an hour every week, we have a game between the 2 teams in our club, like a championship. And we change the teams every 4 or 6 months in order to, because we are one team, we want to keep it as one team, but we just want to have a bit of competition into the club. And this 30 minutes of playing, okay, maybe that's a detail. We are trying to have 5 minutes of games. So we do 3 or 4 games of 5 minutes. Because when we go to the tournaments, the pressure is very high and the time of playing is very short. So we have to try to simulate this feeling. So we make the games too short, about 5 minutes. So 5 minutes playing, 3 or 4 minutes or 5 minutes resting, then again 5 minutes and so on. And about the women, I hope this it is clear what I said.
Say it again. I didn't hear you. What's about the women?
No. Okay, about the women now. We don't have so many women, and it's always a problem that they don't have another woman team in order to play against another woman team. And we try to find a solution in doing the following. We every now and then we let them play against the newer players, the newer men players. So it's the woman team, 6 women. We have 6 to 8 women in our club, and they are playing against the newer men. So just these 2 things I want to mention about the problems I have and how we are trying to solve it.
Okay, thanks, Dimitris. I have Key who has to leave in 5 minutes. You raise your hands. You want to share something regarding the tops of coaching, sort of a short before you leave? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Can I share now?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks. I have 5 minutes only, so I'll just share what we do in Singapore. So although we are very generally young club in Singapore, about 3 years, we do have different players of different expectations like every other club in the world. So recently what we have done is that we have created a training and competence team. We nicknamed it TAC team, TAC. And so what this TAC team does is to come out with a training plan for 3 months for all new players and all experienced players to put them all together, to train together. And the importance of that is actually to bring all players to play in the same standard, the same style. So what we are doing in Singapore, Ricardo will know, is that we are trying to develop a Singapore style as well. Okay, so that's one thing that we are doing in Singapore. So in that 3 months, every month, we will review what we have to improve in the next month, and we'll implement it accordingly. So in the tech team, we have 6 trainers that we occasionally just take turns to train the team based on a fixed plan. The second thing that we do to bring the new players and the experienced players together is that recently we rolled out a mentorship program. So whoever is interested in the mentorship program can sign up with us. And then what we do is that we group people together based on their expectations. So some players, they want to learn more how to communicate with each other. Some wants to learn how to play the same strategy with each other. So we group people in the same group and we let them roll out. We roll this out as a mentorship program for the next 3 to 4 months. So that's something that we are trying. We are first month into these 2 programs. By end of this year, we will see the results. And so far, people has been quite, they enjoy these programs because they see the effort of us bringing people together, and people are starting to play very much like a team. So that's what we do in Singapore.
Key, how do you match the people in the mentorship program?
Okay, that's a very good question. So when people sign up for this, we created a Google form. We ask them for the name, their mobile number, as well as 2 more information that is quite critical. First one is the preferred position they want to play. The second information that is quite critical to know is that what is your expectation from a mentorship program? What do you want to learn in the next 3 months? So when they tell us what they want to learn, we will do our best to match people of the same type of expectations together. And I think that has been very beneficial so far. You'll find people generally coming to underwater rugby. One group of people will be coming to learn how to play more offensively. One group of people just want to learn how to play in the team so that they know what everybody else is doing. So there's some things that we try to pick up and we try to group people together as best as good as we can. Yeah.
Cool. We just have to say goodbye to Ricardo, who is at a wedding, and just wrote in the chat that he is going to leave. So thank you very much for sharing Down Under stuff with us. And the question from you was, what is the next meeting about? Basically, we will have once every month. We are thinking of doing one end of September on doping, but we have to see whether we actually get that off the ground. Because for us, this is also prototyping here, what we are doing. And the idea is that we have these 3 calls on topics that we also want to discuss in Berlin and sort of start the conversations with these calls, but then take it to a physical academy workshop. So I'll once again invite you, and for Ricardo, it's maybe a bit far off, but seeing your travel schedule, you never know. So maybe we see each other in Berlin, and enjoy the wedding. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. See ya, guys. Glad to see all of you. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Enjoy the wedding.
Ciao.
Cool. Key, that was very inspiring what you shared. Thanks so much. We have another half an hour to go. And I would love to move into the Underwater Rugby Academy a bit more specifically. I don't know if Wolf and Lorena want to say something about where the thoughts are around. And Key is also about to leave, so see you. This call will be on YouTube, so you can follow the rest on YouTube. I'm just thinking maybe Wolf, because I want to move into what the expectations are for the Underwater Rugby Academy, and therefore it would be maybe good for the people in this call to have a very short status update on where we are in terms of the coaching session, or where you are in terms of the coaching session. So I know that's a bit of a surprise to you, but maybe you can just share on where you are, and then we move into a bit of more, what is the need, what is the expectations, what should we take into consideration if that is working for you. So can maybe short from you where you are.
Okay, make it quick. The big thing for me about the academy is the exchange of experience and ideas, and how to develop standards. And I think in coaching, and what is important for me for the academy in November, is that there are two sides of coaching. One is the coach side, the perspective of the coach and its expectations. And the other side is the players and their expectations and their needs. So how can we find out what are the problems, what are the solutions? Because many people might say, well, what is the problem in coaching? But I have a lot of good friends in Germany who started as coaches, did it for 2 years, and switched out of it because of burnout, and they didn't manage to reach their goals, and there was a big discontentment in the team with the coach and everything. So I tried to find out in exchange with everybody around the world, what you do best, how do you succeed in coach, and what are the expectations of the coaches and of the players. And this is the big point for me in the academy workshop we will do in November.
That is the planning where you are currently. Any speakers that will be there? Any confirmed speakers that may be worth sharing here? I'm not up to date, to be honest.
Yes, we have confirmation from Samuel Gaviria from the Colombian Orcas, and we have a confirmation from Tarkan from Ege in Turkey. He will be with us. And of course, Thorsten Stanschus, who's coaching the U21 team of Germany. So they will be the key speakers in our workshop.
Okay, cool. And the coaching session is just one of many sessions at the Underwater Academy. You can find more information on the status where we are currently on, I think it's underwaterrugby24.de/underwaterrugby/academy, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the Champions Cup website, but just with the UWR Academy in the end. So you can go over the Champions Cup website.
Maybe you can type that two links quickly in the chat so that everybody can see it. That would be great, because that also shows where the agenda is currently. And that is, of course, subject to change, because we also, as I said, we're also going to learn on the way and from you guys. Having said that, learning from you, it would be great to hear your expectations from the Underwater Rugby Academy, from regarding coaching, ideally. So maybe the question could be something like, what would really make you come to Berlin, or something like that. And Stanley, you also have to drop off. Thanks for joining. Maybe we have one more guest, which is Sugu from China. Maybe you want to start. What is actually what you need? What would make you come to Berlin, Sugu?
Hey, man. Yeah, nice meeting you guys here. Can you hear me? I'm afraid right now it's a bit noisy here because I'm in a restaurant. It's not a good time for me. But really glad to see you guys, and thanks for the invitation from Stanley. Yeah, in China the sport is quite new, and actually I'm in a city that's across Hong Kong. So this sport has been just introduced to this city for half a year. Last time when I was in Lausanne, I guess it was in Lausanne, Switzerland. I played with the local guys. Yeah, you? Is that you? Yeah, I think you look really familiar, man. Yeah. Jane, Jane, Zugu, yeah. And because of the ball you gave us, so that's how we started the sport in China. Yeah, exactly. And right now, So the thing in Shenzhen is that the sport has been already commercialized. So my friend is actually kind of getting money from the players. So because each time when we go to the pool, we need to pay like 100 RMB, which is like I guess it's 16 US dollars. So it's not a small amount of money. This is why we have like less players this year. But last year we got more players because it was kind of more affordable. I think this year we were thinking about setting up a club to get more players involved. So this is kind of our plan. And of course, it would be good if I can meet you guys in Berlin to learn something, because we want to make it more organized, more professional, so that we can really enjoy the game with you guys. And last week, or last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, Singaporean guys, the fat guys, came to our city to teach us, to give a very impressive lessons for us. So, and right now, I guess they're enjoying the Ricardo's camp, right? Ricardo? Yeah, they're enjoying your camp in Singapore, right? So next time, I hope you have some of you guys to China to teach us, to share something with us. So right now, it's a very new sport in China. So there's a very good prospect because, you know, China is a country with like 1.2 billion people. So really hope you guys can come in.
I think this is historic to have you in that call. Also to have you.
Oh yeah.
And then you also
exactly.
have you at Lucerne. I mean, this is such a wicked sport. It's unbelievable. The world is
exactly. Yeah.
Thanks so
You
much.
planted the seed. You planted the seed for us, and Singaporean guys help us to grow the tree. Yeah.
We planted the ball. That's it.
planted the ball. Yeah.
Thanks, Sugu. All the best for China. And
thank you.
Hope to play and meet you in reality soon, maybe at the Underwater Rugby Academy in Berlin. Would be great. Anybody else wants to share sort of a personal expectation or maybe energy package that would make you come to Berlin in terms of the Underwater Rugby Academy? We are very curious to hear. Gabriele, you raised your hand. I unmute you. Second.
I thought that Daniel was before me because he was just raising his hands this way.
Okay. We have a physical.
No. Okay.
We have a Zoom hand raising, and I was not watching the video. Who was raising the hands in reality? So thanks for this observation. Then I hand over to Daniel first. Of course, we go by order here. So Daniel, I'll unmute you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I would have been fine if Gabriele had spoken first, but I'm happy to go first too. So a few things I think would be great for the academy and also for in the long run to establish. One is to actually establish some kind of a database or a collection of coaching tools, of exercises, of strategies, of ways how to break down different trainings, right? So if you score, if you introduce a new rotation, what are kind of tools you can do to introduce a first step, a second step, to break down different movements into separate parts and bring them together, right? That's what we do in advanced teaching, but in rugby, I haven't seen that often. Often it's just, you do this, I show you, you do. But to do it step by step and actually breaking it down is rather new. Then also, for example, having videos, having a database with good training videos, with either like enviones, or just like the from the bottom, the scoring techniques, right? Having a good database of these things would be good. Then today, I mean, I think so far it was a real good call, but most of the experiences were very superficial, right? They were always, okay, this is a problem, this is a good thing, but if we want to learn from that more, I think we need case studies, we need best practice, we need to go on the fails to say, okay, what were the failures and how were they overcome or even not overcome? And to have a more analytical way, and then I'm a researcher, so maybe that's my bias here, have like a database of these things a little bit more, maybe have a format where everybody can fill out something and then write up short case studies about these things. So that I think would be really really helpful.
Amazing, amazing input. Thanks, Daniel. And yeah, Julia, you raised
can just
finger or
say
your
something.
hand?
Yeah, just in response, I seem to remember that on our Slack channel, somebody has requested that kind of. Was that you, Daniel, or did that come from someone else? Because it seemed like this topic has already come up, and I think it's a great idea. And I'd like to invite you, maybe Daniel, if you want to bring that topic forward at the academy, so we can discuss it there and see whether maybe under the people that are there, there's somebody who actually wants to take this forward with you, because I think it's a great idea and it's something that's sorely needed.
I think we have to give Wolf also some credit here, because Wolf had started an Excel sheet, like a Google Docs thing, where he suggests to have, if I'm quoting Wolf correctly here, have to see who has special expertise, and then have these people suggest certain, either be a mentor or certain things. But I think it's even beyond. I think that's a really good first step, and we can just collect different stories, different things, but then we have to have a team, because I work a lot with governments who actually do stuff like that, and what you get as initial input is often it's not that good. So normally you have to have people who are okay writers, who can work with the texts a little to make them a little better, so they're actually more
yeah.
Wonderful. Gabriele, up to you next.
Well, I agree with Daniel, and what I was going to say is has to do with that. I would love to hear in Berlin. I would love to hear something about different approaches. I mean, everyone. I think everyone goes in the water, swim, make movements, and it's obvious. Okay, but which supports do you use to improve? Do you see videos? How often do you train individually? How often do you use tuition? I mean, do you have tutors inside the team? I don't know, stuff like that, and report the experience, because it would be very, very useful to know. And to have new ideas, maybe, because I just said something, but I think there's a world of ideas that we can take advantage of. That's all.
Grazie mille. Who's raising the hand next? Joel, is this you? I think this is raising the hand. This is waving. This is like, great, go ahead.
I just want to add, because I realized that at least I can't find any uniform like coach certifications or any coach certification standards around even in CMA's website. Because personally, I feel that if there is a standardized certification or set of standards to certify a UWR coach, it would be beneficial for the clubs to be able to certify their own coaches or this might actually lead on to maybe government recognition. So in our case, we are trying to get the government or sports council side to actually recognize our sport. And it will help greatly if we have like a document or a certification standard that we can actually use to certify that, hey, we have our own certified coach. And then this will actually help to legitimize and to recognize our sport more recognized in our government sense. Yeah, that's all I'll share. I don't think I can hear you.
Jan, your microphone it is muted.
Hello? Yeah.
This is why the host should never switch off his microphone, exactly for that reason. I was thinking that before, shit, I should not mute because I will forget it, and now I forgot it. Sorry. But I have 2 kids running around, so it's always the whether I have to unmute or mute them. But I apologize. Wolf, you want to say something, or?
Do you get what I said earlier?
No, Wolf, you were raising your hand, or
Yeah,
what?
just a quick response to the coaching documents. I'm a licensed DSOB coach in underwater rugby, and I have these documents, at least those we have in Germany, for coaching license, so I can work on them and send them to you, or put them in the academy for you. We have all this.
Oh, that would be wonderful, man. That would be wonderful. Could you send them to us? Thank you so much.
Cool. Excellent. We have another 15 minutes, and the idea is there anything more that you sort of, this is really what I want to, that would make me come to Berlin, that we want to share now? Otherwise, we're going to slowly move into a checkout with the ball practice. Anything else that needs sharing in terms of, that is what you would expect from the Underwater Rugby Academy in November in Berlin about coaching? No? Cool. Then this lovely ball, which will maybe or maybe not make it to China as well, for the second Chinese team. I don't know. We'll see. We have enough of these old balls. Actually, they are really old, and they surface only. I have these at home for the kids, and we take it to the pool when I go with the kids to the pool, because they shrank, so they lost a bit of size. They're small, anyways, the checkout question for that first ZoomLab call for the Underwater Rugby Academy would be something like, maybe what do you absolutely love about coaching? Sugu, you wanna say something? Of course, I will unmute you.
Coaching about, I just want to ask a question. Is there any like a project or plan to get kids involved? Because kids would be the new blood, and if we can get them involved, I think there is a business opportunity over there.
We have a session in the Underwater Rugby Academy planned for youth teams.
Yeah, so, youth team or
for kids. Days in Berlin. If you come, this is one of the sessions. And we actually, if I'm not mistaken, we said the last ZoomLab call will be on a youth team, right? So we'll have the end of October ZoomLab call. Will actually cover the topic of youth and kids, whatever.
Maybe just as a preview, there's a really new team in Serbia at the moment who started out playing underwater rugby in the middle of basically nowhere. All they have is a pool, and it's not very deep, but they have lots of motivated 9 to 15-year-olds, and they are playing, and they went to Germany for the youth championships, for the Open German Youth Championships, and they did horrifically badly, and they had so much fun, and they were so motivated. So I think that that is a space to follow. And I do believe that we need to bring in more kids. I'm with you on that.
I'm definitely with you as well. Who was raising their hand?
Me. I just want to mention, because I'm going to be developing that topic. That's the idea about the youth, how to create a new team, how to motivate them, and how to get them playing. So I'm still trying to get people involved, but the idea would have to have maybe a case study from Colombia, because they are very strong on that. Also the Turkish team, and also maybe I can get the people from Serbia, because they are coming up with new players. We in Europe have the problem that most of the players are old and older and getting even older. So, and Torsten also is working with the youth in Germany. So that would be one of the topics that we really want to raise in the academy, because, yeah, that's one of the most important things we need to take care of in the future. Yeah.
Cool. Let's move into checkout. I see there's a lot of other topics and conversations that are needed, but we said we're going to limit this as a ZoomLab call to 90 minutes. So we're going to move into checkout with this ball. Again, and the question is, what do you absolutely love about underwater rugby? Coaching, because this is a positive conversation. So I dropped the ball, and it's shaking up my whole table, but that's okay. So whoever wants to take it, go for it. Yes, and maybe keep it short because we are running.
Okay, I start again to open it up. So I just did win the German championships under 18 with my youth team, and it was one of the biggest experience for me as a coach because we worked together, the team and me, the coach, we just worked together as one entity, and it was a beautiful experience. And I really like to extract what this experience into something I can talk about and pass on to other coaches, because that's what I love about coaching. When it works out, it's just beauty of it if you like to stand in front of the team. Thank you.
Where's the ball going?
Okay.
I dropped the ball.
Okay. Since nobody seems to want to grab the mic, I'm trying to mic hog here, but I'm taking the floor again. I think what is great about coaching and teaching and sharing is when you see something is working out really. When you implement a new strategy, you can feel that the team comes together and you adjust a strategy and you feel that is working, right? That's all what coaching is about. When you actually make changes, it's a very creative process, because as a coach you can actually influence what is happening, and that has a couple of pitfalls, has a lot of challenges, but it's actually a very creative process. So I think it gives a lot of fulfillment to those who try to bring together in a three-dimensional arena that we have the pleasure of working with, to bring together a team of 6/12 players and make them orchestrate them to come together individually and as a team. I think that's a very beautiful thing when it works.
Where's the ball going? Okay.
I'll pick it up. Joel here, I'll pick up the ball. For me, the best part, what I love about coaching is I'll teach the first timers who come to our pool to train. I think the best part would be seeing how happy they are at the end of it, and they tell me, "Oh, I had so much fun, and I learned so much, something new today." So in the end, this sport is about having fun and enjoying the sport. So for me, coaching, that will be the best part, is seeing new faces, having fun, and enjoying themselves. Yeah, I dropped the ball again.
I'll pick it up. Basically, Joel just stole the words right out of my mouth. I love. I teach a lot of scuba diving as well, and just seeing whatever the sport is, it's seeing the kids with the amazing smiles on their face when they've done something for the first time is absolutely awesome. And with regards to the age, I think Lorena said the age is going up for rugby players, but that's not necessarily bad, because when I look at the underwater hockey people, they tend to be a lot older here in Australia anyway, but all of their kids are starting to come in. Whereas with the rugby people, we don't have a lot of people with kids, or at least not kids old enough to start playing rugby. And I think that will start to draw the kids in once some of our older players start having kids. So hopefully. Okay.
Okay, the ball is dropped. Sugu, you want to pick it? Then you have to unmute. I'll unmute you.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah, hear me, right? Yeah, actually in China, we have a very good example. So in southwest of China, actually there's a club. They were recruiting kids for business sake. Okay, so kids need to pay the money, and they got a lot of kids for underwater hockey. So I think we can really use their experience for underwater rugby, and this is what we want to do in the future in Shenzhen. So kind of commercialize it, but I don't know if it's there's any conflict with what we're discussing here right now to commercialize it. So this is the first thing. And the second thing, I guess, in terms of breaking down the techniques used in underwater rugby, we can really apply the techniques in freediving. So in freediving, we have different techniques broken down. Okay, so piece by piece, very clear. So for underwater rugby, I think we need to have like a standards for coaches, for instructors, and then if we want to commercialize it, because commercialization will really help the sport to grow bigger, I guess. Yeah, this is my idea. I don't know if it's true or not. Yeah, it needs to be tested. Yeah. Thanks.
What are you doing with the ball?
Sorry?
What are you doing with the ball? You drop it or you pass it?
No. Oh yeah, pass it. Yeah, pass it. Yeah, sorry. Pass it to the next one. Yeah. Drop it. Finished. Here, finished.
Oh, I'll catch that pass. What do I love about underwater rugby coaching? I love when I see teams that are starting to work together. I love when, as you said, Wolf, you know, when they work together. And one of my current best examples of that is my team when we were at the European Championships this summer. For the first time, an Austrian team, women's team, went. And our first goal was really a team effort. There were 4 or 5 people working on that goal, and my name ended up being on the list as the one who scored, but the truth is there were 5 people doing it. And this was the most beautiful thing of them all, because it was our first goal and we wrote history in that moment, and it was cool. That's what I love, when it works like that.
Lovely.
And I will pass the ball to Dimitri.
Okay, thank
and
you.
we can see that Zugu is eating something nice.
I think yes, because of Zugu, I have to say the best part of the training is after the training, the dinner. And as a coach, I don't know if I'm a coach, but from this perspective, the best. I don't have to add anything to what Douglas and Joel said. That's the best thing, especially with the new players, that they experience something very new, and the progress that they make is very fast. So you see the results of the coaching, and that's the best part. That's it. And who didn't speak? I don't know. So I just dropped the ball also.
Okay, I take the ball to say that the best part is when you see the players you teach something that realize that it works. It's really, you see different faces. You see sometimes they don't even believe it. I'm talking about newbies, of course, but it's really, it's amazing. It's an amazing sensation.
What are you doing with the ball?
I dropped the ball because I don't see anyone who didn't speak.
Am I the last one? Looks like. So I'll take the ball. And as I don't really have a lot of coaching experience, unfortunately. I love to have more one day. But what I can say so far in terms of what I really love about coaching, it comes to maybe coaching behind the scenes, is, and that is for me also a very important coaching factor that I really love to do, is looking into the hygiene of the team, like, you know, making sure that the people are really operating as a team not only in the water, but also outside of the water. So that is really what I love to do. That doesn't mean that I go drunk, because I'm not a big drinker, but like making this cohesion work and making this team feeling work outside of water, with no screaming, a little bit of drinking, a little bit of joking, a little bit of weirdness, of course. I think that is what I love in coaching, as an informal coach, maybe. Cool. Did we have everybody talking and sharing?
I haven't say something.
Sorry for that, Lorena.
I was so concentrated listening that I said, "Oh, I did."
I'll pass the ball to you.
Okay. Well, what I really love about coaching is also the success. But I love it when if I'm not playing, or even if I'm playing, and I'm seeing while we're playing in the game and what we are doing wrong, and I tell the players, and in this moment they realize, and they can change what I tell them minute by minute, and that changed the game, and then we ended up actually winning maybe the game. This is what I love. I mean, to be able to connect while the whole thing is happening, and then be able to analyze and maybe be right in thinking, oh, we're doing this wrong, please change it. The players being able to do it, trusting you and seeing it, doing it, and then completely changing the game in the moment. And I also love that.
Beautiful. Okay, I think that's it. We are right on time, I would say. I hope you liked that first Zoom Lab call. We will, as I said, we will share it on the Underwater Rugby Academy YouTube channel, so that the others also can watch it. Stay tuned for the next one. And of course, if you can make it to Berlin in November, that would be excellent, because it will be a one-time firsty sort of thing that will write history, and we believe in that. And yeah, hopefully hope to see you in Berlin. Don't hesitate to contact us on the various channels, and the people in that regard that are here in that call. Also, we are very active on Facebook, the most of us, I guess. So if you see that video on YouTube and you're not on Facebook, I don't have an answer for you, but maybe you have to come to Berlin. Cool. I just suggest that we open up the microphones at the end of the call, and we all say goodbye in our language, and then we close that call, and we enjoy our weekends. How does that sound?
Okay, vielen Dank. Thank you very much. It was a great call, and it's just the beginning, guys.
Merci.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Thank you. 谢谢.
Thanks, and tune in
謝謝.
on the Slack channel more. We have to discuss more things on Slack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Good point. I'll finish the video saying Slack at the end. There's a Slack channel. Feel free to reach out to be part of the Slack channel. Thanks, Daniel. Okay, we had a record.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.